Before your final examination, I will try to bring as many lectures as possible. Today, let us start with Chapter 16, National Movement in India, Partition and Independence, 1939 to 1947. In the year 1935, British government passed Government of India Act, and according to this act, provincial autonomy was given to Indian provinces. Now, what is this province? You can compare it with present-day states. So, for these provinces, elections were conducted in 1937, and people elected their representatives who are Indians. So now, Indians got political representation. That is what provincial autonomy is. There were 11 provinces at that time: Madras, Central Province, Bihar, Orissa, United Province, Bombay Presidency, Assam, Northwest Frontier Province, Bengal, Punjab, and Sindh. But all the people of these provinces were not allowed to vote. There was some electoral college. Only few sections of the society was allowed. 12% population voted for provincial assemblies and 1% population for central assemblies, which is nothing but something like parliament. Congress was able to form government in 8 out of 11 provinces, failed to form government in Muslim majority provinces like Bengal, Punjab, and Sindh. Muslim League Party didn't form government in any of these provinces. The year 1939 was a high time, not just in India but around the world. The Second World War was started in this year. Now in India we are having two governments, provincial governments and central government. And Congress is playing a vital role in governance. But British government, without taking any consent from Indian National Congress Party, started taking Indian resources in war. ANC party members are having a great question to deal. Should Indians support Second World War? Now the party was divided in two parts to answer this. Few people wanted to support British because they didn't like the ideology of Hitler, Mussolini and others, and they thought if British win, they may free India. Other few started supporting Axis powers because even the great allied powers are stepping back after seeing the power of Axis. When INC asked about freedom and independence, British gave deaf ear and said that they may give status of dominion after war. Now, what is Britain's view on freedom? In Britain, there are two major parties. Conservatives, headed by Winston Churchill, then Prime Minister of Britain. Their ideology was to expand British Empire. They don't want to free their colonies. Another party is Labour Party, headed by Clement Attlee. In his election manifesto, he even said that if his party comes to power, he will free all the colonies of British Empire. Not just these things, British government raised the issue of minorities. If they give freedom immediately, Hindus who are majority, they may exploit minorities. They say that they want to resolve this issue before giving independence to India. After this incident, Congress ministers resigned for their posts in 1939. So the provincial autonomy was ended and British government started taking advantage of it by passing War Act to stop freedom movements in India. And if any person goes against the order, can be kept behind bars. So Gandhiji, to solve this issue, started individual satyagraha in 1941 and asked fellow Indians to maintain peace. Vinoba Bhave became the first individual satyagrahi and Nehru was the second one. If Congress leaders stepped up their protest at that time, the entire freedom movement may got disrupted. Who represents the people of the country? We know that in the year 1905, Lord Curzon introduced divide and rule policy to partition Bengal on the basis of religion, Hindus and Muslims. From then on, communal harmony in the country got disrupted. Several religious organizations evolved and dominated the national movement. And Indian freedom struggle started getting some religious touch. Now let us have a look at few religious organizations which later transformed into political parties. First say we are having Muslim League for Muslims, RSS and Hindu Mahasabha for Hindus and so on and so forth. Muslim League. It was started in the year 1906 by Aga Khan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah and others as a Muslim farmer organization in United Province. And they say that they are the voice of Muslims in the country. To control the growth of Indian National Congress, British government started giving indirect support to Muslim League. In 1909, through Minto Morley reforms, communal electorate was introduced. Through this, in Muslim majority areas, only Muslims were allowed to contest in elections. By the 1937 provincial elections, Muslim League emerged as major opposition for Indian National Congress. But it failed to form government even in Muslim majority provinces. It secured only 1 or 2 seats out of 482 reserved seats. It started getting public support by pointing flaws of Indian National Congress and its interest towards Hindu organizations. INC proudly proclaims that it is a secular party, but at one instance, it allowed its members to take part in Hindu Mahasabha, but it didn't allow to do the same with Muslim League. And there are other few factors which helped Muslim League to win in few provinces in 1946 provincial elections. Hindu Mahasabha. This was an Hindu organization founded in 1915 by Madan Mohan Malaviya, Lala Lajpati Rai and V.D. Savarkar to protect the rights of Hindu communities. And there is another organization called Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. This is a pro-Hindu organization founded in 1925 by Keshav Baliram Hegdewar. These organizations wanted to remove social barriers in Hinduism. Though Congress party was dominated by Hindus at that time, it was secular and not tilted towards any one religion. They even said Hindus and Muslims were not people of two different nations but part and parcel of Indian nation. Pakistan Resolution. In the initial days of freedom movement, Muslim League was also just like Indian National Congress. It didn't ask for any separate country. In 1930, during annual Muslim League meeting, then President of Muslim League, Muhammad Iqbal, asked for Northwest Indian Muslim state, a state only for Muslims. He is the same person who ordered Sare Jahan se Acha Hindustan Hamara. The idea Pakistan started in 1933 in Cambridge University. A student leader named Chaudhary Rahmat Ali gave the name Pakistan by combining all Muslim majority provinces. But no one considered or opted for a separate country called Pakistan in initial days. But on 23rd March 1940, Muhammad Ali Jinnah passed Pakistan Resolution, which aimed for separate Muslim country. Even Muslims started supporting the idea after realizing few facts like Hindu domination in India, Hindu domination in Zamindari system. They thought new country may give good and enough opportunities for them. And when Gandhi launched Quit India movement on 8th August 1942, on the other day almost all major leaders of Indian National Congress were imprisoned and they were released only after the Second World War. By this time, Muslim League party grew enormously. Not just Muslim League, people like B.R. Ambedkar also supported the Pakistan or partition idea, and he said, it is beyond a question that Pakistan is a scheme which will have to be taken into account. The Muslims will insist upon the scheme being considered. The British cannot consent to settle power upon an aggressive Hindu majority and make it its heir, leaving it to deal with the minorities as its sweet pleasure. That would not ending imperialism, it would be creating another imperialism. His intention is, if British leave India, Hindu majority may exploit Muslim minorities. So these minorities, now they should live under these Hindus. So this is the end of part 1 of chapter. We'll come with part 2 very soon. Share this video with all your 10th standard friends and subscribe to the channel to never miss an update. Signing off, your modern teacher.